Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back, folks. We are with my GCSE class. We're looking at Mathematics A, Paper 2, the latest paper, June 2014. So let's get cracking without any further delay. Okay, on to the first question. Right. Okay, right. Question number 1. The point A has coordinates 2, 3. The point B has coordinates 6, 8. M is the midpoint of the line AB. Find the coordinates of N. So it's not necessary that you draw the line or do anything, because if you look over here, okay, right, that's lovely. We've got it back on. Now what we need to do here, so if we look at our 2 points over here, we don't need to draw anything because it says the diagram not accurately drawn, so don't need to start measuring stuff on the diagram. What we do need to know is how to work out the midpoints. So to work out the midpoints, what we do is we average the x values. So both of the x values, we add them up and we divide it by 2. And then we add up both the y values and divide it by 2. So write this down as you go now. Okay. So that is how we work at the midpoints. Now let's put that into practice. So what is my x1 value? My x1 value is 2 and x, well, it doesn't matter which one you call, if it is A or B, but I'm going to call that x1. And there's my x2 value. So it's going to be 2 add 6 divided by 2. 2 add 6 is? 8 divided by 2 is? 4. I'm just going to put a 4 down here for the moment. Okay, y1. So y1 is now going to be which one? 3 and
8.
And the y2 is 8. So we got 3 add 8 divided by 2. So 3 add 8 is?
11.
And 11 divided by 2 is?
5.5.
5.5, 5.5. So that's my m. So we need to write the values over here. So I'm just going to copy it up here. So there's my coordinates for the midpoint of m. Are we happy with the technique, folks? Is that good? Right. The next question is talking about correlation. Oh, I think I've gone a bit too. Right, that's better. It says that the table, I need to use my mouse as well as my pen. Oh, that's better. The table shows the average temperature on each of 7 days and the number of units of gas used to heat a house on these days. Complete the scatter graph to show the information in the table. So what do we need to plot? Okay, there. Junaid. Okay, just move the table back a bit. Yes. Right, pass some rulers around, please, Junaid, if anybody else needs one. Now, the points that we need to plot are 12, 6, and 13, 2. So these points here haven't been. Can you plot those 2 points, please, on your graph for me, please? Remember, 12 is along the bottom and 6 is the height. And then you have 13 along the bottom and then 2 is the height. Can you plot those points for me, please? And I will try to do my points here as well. So 12, 6 is here. Please. Okay, the next one is 13, 2. Okay, lovely. Right, we should have those points. Then with the 2 points are missing, I'm just going to move it up a bit. So we need to look at the bottom part of the question. It says complete the scatter graph to show the information in the table, which we've done. The first 5 points have been plotted for you, so we just plotted the last 2 points. It goes describe the relationship between the average temperature and the number of units of gas used. Now, if we look at the points here, here, the points are going in which direction? They are going down. So as the temperature increases, the units of gas decreases. So we call that, what do we call that kind of a description? We call it a?
Negative.
Okay, there's negative correlation. So for 1 mark, we need to write down a negative correlation. There's a negative correlation. Okay, that word negative correlation explains that basically includes one thing increase, as one thing increases, one decreases. Okay, that includes that negative correlation encapsulates all of that. Now, the next part of the question, if we quickly turn over, so I need to come back to this page anyway. Part C says estimate. So I'm just reading to you the next part of the question. Should we actually go then come back? Okay, it says part C, estimate. Okay, estimate the average temperature on a day with 12 units of gas are used. Now, in order for us to do this part of the question, let's go back up now. We need to draw a line of best fit. So, a line of best fit is an average line that goes through as many data points as possible and has as many data points above as below. Now, let's do that now. Now I worked out my line of best fit went through particular points. I'm gonna circle where mine goes through. Okay. Right, and I'm gonna use a line. So my line of best fit. Oops, oh right. That's already a point. Okay, give me one moment. Let me see if you do something else. Let's go to this one. I'll just go back to this. Okay, I'm going to start from here. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Let's do that. Okay, so that's my line of best fit. So my line of best fit actually goes through 0, 20 and 12, 6. So we got 1, 2 points above, we got 3 points below, and it actually goes through 2 points. That's a nice definition of following the definition. It's gone through 2 points, 2 above and 3 below. You can't exactly you can't split 5 into half, can you? Yeah, so 2 above and 3 below. So that will do for us at the moment. Now, the question said work it out for, what was it?
When 12 units of gas are used.
Okay, 12 units of gas are used. Now, for that, I'm going to use a little square. We're going to start over here. Just to show you where it is. Okay, lovely. Right. So here's 12. I'll put a little square there, but we don't actually only need this line and that line. Okay, sorry, pardon me. Have you gone over there?
Yeah.
We have. Let's undo that quickly. So let's start our box over here. Oh, that was not very nice. I want the box. Okay, here comes our box. Okay, right. So, get rid of the box now. Let's go back to pen. Now, we got red. So we started at the 12 and we came down here. So the answer that we have here at the moment is, what's the answer? 7. Now, the answer that we allowed in the mark scheme, okay, so we got 7 here as our answer.
That's 6.
Okay, depending on the, so we allowed anything from 5 to 7. So if you got 5.5 and on your line you got 6, and we got 6.5, anything between 5 and 7 is acceptable as an answer for the estimate for the average temperature. Okay, let's move on to question number 3 now. It says x equals 0.7, work out the value of x plus 1 squared divided by 2x. Write on all the figures on your calculator display. So what we can do here, we can pop this straight into that calculator. Let's grab our calculators, please, folks. So x plus 1. Okay, so we got there. So let's use the brackets in the same place. Brackets. X is 0.7. 0.7. Add 1. Close bracket. Squared. Okay, hang on 1 second. We need our division sign. So what we're going to do back is going to use a shift fraction. Oops, no, just fraction. So let's start again. So we have here now the x value is 0.7. And then we're going to add to that 1. We're going to close the bracket. We're going to square it. Bring it down to the bottom. and 2 times by the x, 0.7. Has everybody got that on the calculator first of all?
Yeah.
Mr. Hahn, you got that? Yeah? Press equal. And that gives us an answer of, because write down all the figures on your calculator display. So, I need to move, so on as soon as I press, okay, right. Has everybody, if you all got 2.064285, yeah? So I have to move my calculator to one side so you can see the numbers. So 2.06428571. How many digits you got in your calculator? Write that
I
down.
didn't get 14.
That's okay. You write down what you got in your calculator. That's fine.
Did you write it down? Yeah.
Okay, here is a circle. The diameter of the circle is 9 centimeters. Work out the circumference of this circle. Now, quick. Okay, Samara, how do we work out the circumference of the circle? What do we do? We have been given the diameter d. So the circumference is what? What is the circumference? Circumference is equal to pi times by d. Okay, pi, we can use that as 3.14 or the pi button. That's to 2 decimal places. Times by 9. Okay. Right, let's have a look what we got. So we use a calculator. We even have a pi button on there. So we can use that as well. Shift pi times by 9 equals. So we get 28.2. So now we've got to give it correct to the 3 significant figures. So let's just, well, let's write down 28.274 first. 28.27.
It's 26.
Okay. Now, yeah, if you use 3.14, yes, normally we'll have a little bit different, but the answer will be now. Because we're going to do now three significant figures.
It's the same thing, no?
Here's our 3 significant figures. So we look at the 7. If you got 6 there in the matter, it's still give the same answer. So 28.2, the 7 is 5 or more, we add 1 to the 2. So that gives us 28.3. That is to 3 significant figures is the circumference. So 28.3 centimeters. And I'll write on the bottom here 3 F brackets done. Total for question 4 is 2 marks. So we got our formula in here. With the right values, we move on to the next question. Okay, question number 5, nice transformations question. Nice one. I said nice is nice and straightforward. So just describe the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. Straight away is what kind of transformation? We have 4 transformations. We have translation, we have reflection, enlargement, and this question, it is a translation. Now, one common mistake made by students, they use the word transformation in the answer. Don't. Tell us what transformation is. Translation. Now, if you use translation, we have to mention it's by a vector or by translation vector, and then we have to give it in like rectangular brackets. So, let's look at this corner here. It goes to there. So 1, oh, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got plus 5 in the x direction, and then 1, 2, 3 down.
Would it be minus 3?
That's right. Go on.
So can't you say translation of translation vector?
Of course, yeah. Translation by translation vector or translation by vector. So here we're going to have the first number is the x, how much moved across by. Second number is y. Now, because it's going down, it's not going to be plus 3, it will be minus 3. That's done. Okay, next question, number 6. Okay, Sue is driving home from a friend's house. Sue drives 10 miles from a friend's house to the motorway, 240 miles on the motorway, 5 miles from the motorway to her home. Okay, so it says here Sue takes 20 minutes to drive from a friend's house to the motorway. Then she drives an average speed of 60 miles per hour on the motorway, and she takes 25 minutes to drive from the motorway to her home. Sue stops for 30-minute rest on her drive home. Now, so this question is a question to do with time. Okay. Okay, let's get back to this question. So Sue leaves her friends, apologies for the phone ringing, folks. Sue leaves her friend's house at 9 a.m. What time does Sue get home? So we're going to do this as a timeline. So let's have our timeline here. Okay. So what time does she leave home? 9 o'clock. Okay. Here's the first part of the journey. First part of the journey takes how long? 20 minutes. So let's put here 9:20. Okay, now the next part of the journey, which is this part here, 240 miles, it tells you here, she drives at an average speed of 60 miles per hour. So these two pieces of information are connected. So we need to think about speed. Okay, so we say here, speed equals distance divided by time. SDT. Now, we need to work out the time that it takes to cover 240 miles at 60 miles per hour. So 240 miles, don't forget, this is here, they're giving us distance, and this here, they're giving us a speed. So we know the distance and speed, we've got to work out the time. So what do we say? We cover up the time with our finger. Here's our finger. So the time is equal to the distance divided by the speed. So what was the distance? 240. And what was the speed? 60 miles per hour. So 240 divided by 60 will give us 4 hours. So the 9:20, so 9 o'clock, the first 20 minutes, and then 9:20 add how many more hours now? 4 hours. So let's put another 4 hours in there. So what's 9:20 add 4 hours? So 9:20 add 1 hour is 10:20, 11:20, 12:20, and then 1:20. Okay, lovely. 1:20. So that was AM here, and now we've already reached PM. Then it says that the next part of the journey is, let's get a different color. You have 5 miles and it takes 25 minutes. So the time's already been given. So it takes another 25 minutes. So let's put that on. So what's 120 plus 25? 145. Okay, and the last but not least, it said that she stopped for 30 minutes. So let's add 30 minutes on now. So what's 145 add another 30 minutes? 2:15. Okay, so what is the final answer? 2:15. 2:15 p.m. Okay, let's get all that out. Okay, so the first part of the journey, the time was given. The second part, we had to work it out. The third part, the time was given. And the fourth part, the time was given. And we are done on that question. Let's move on.
You put that in the easiest way. Like last time.
Okay, right. Question number 7. Question number 7. Someone please take a seat. Question number 7 is we're given a parallel lines here. PS and TY are parallel lines. We have a straight line intersecting it, which is ZWRQ. In there, okay. Let's work out the value of x. Give reasons for your answers now. Okay, right. We know this angle here is 126. If we work out, for example, this angle here, that's not very good. And that one. If you work at this angle here, is that the same as this one? Yeah? So all we have to do, we have to work at the bottom angle and then associate it with the top angle, and that'll be another question. And that'll be for 3 marks. Let's do that now. So what is the connection? Now, I'm going to use a straight line here to emphasize. We've got a line here. I'm going to get my pen and we're going to get a black here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to do that instead. Lovely. What do we say? We say angles. Okay, now this is what do students normally write? Angles on a straight line, yeah? Let's read the address. Let's say what students normally write. Angles on a straight line add up to. Okay, there's nothing that could be more wrong than that. We do not say angles on a straight line. You missed out some few words. Angles at a point. on a straight line added 180. Okay, so angles at a point. Which point are we talking about? We put W. Angles at a point W on a straight line. So we're defining what we're talking about. Oh, on a straight line. Which is a straight line? The straight line is what? T, W, Y. So put that in brackets. So we're talking generally, and then we're putting the letters in there to be specific. So that's a general definition, but we're being specific to our question. Angles at a point W on a straight line TWX. Sorry, TWY. Oops, that should be Y. Yeah, there's a Y. Just a little bit extra. It's going to be difficult with edit that now. Oh, let's leave it there. TWY. Okay, I got a better idea. Let's just get the rubber.
It looks like a Y.
Does it look like a Y?
Yeah.
I just was worried that maybe it might be misinterpreted. That looks even more better. Okay. Angles at a point on a straight line add up to 180. Okay, therefore, what angle is this? This angle defines what? ZWT or TWZ. Therefore, angle TWZ is equal to 180 minus 126 degrees, which is equal to, okay, are we happy with 54, Rutaba?
Yeah.
54 degrees. So we can put this in here now as 54. So now that we've defined our information and put angle 54 in here. So what's angle X now? Angle X is also. Now why is angle X 54? Because we have, okay, we got Z, we got alternate. Z and alternate, Z angle is the slang is for alternate angles. And it's not as we can't use any of those answers, none of those. So it's what is it? It is opposite of the other ones. What do you call them? Corresponding angles. Okay, let's have a look what we are talking about. So let's get ourselves a different color, and we'll try to show that. So we have here. I'm just going to go over like this. So you kind of trying my best to do that. Here we go. So this shape makes a, what shape does it make? Oh, I don't want to do that. It makes an F shape. Yes, because these are in the same place. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what do we say now? We say angle TWZ corresponds with angle PRW or X, yes? Therefore, they're both equal. So, let's write that down. Okay, let's change to a blue. We can delete that. So we say angle TWZ corresponds with angle X, i.e. corresponding angles are equal. Therefore, X is equal to 54. Are we happy that X equals 54 then?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why?
What does that say? Corresponding what?
Angles are equal. This is my joint handwriting going crazy. That's all. Are you happy with that, yeah? Take it? Okay, we're recording at the moment, folks, so let's just keep it civil, yeah? Question number 8. Let's move quickly, folks. Lorna carries out a survey about the number of times customers go to a shop. She asked at random 100 customers how many times they went to the shop last month. The table shows Lorna's results. Okay. So this is called experimental probability. So from actually experimenting and actually doing it in real life, she's managed to get these results. So one of the 100 customers is chosen at random. What is the probability that this customer went to shop 5 or more times? So let's get ourselves a nice color. First of all, okay, 5 or more times. We got our pen here. 5 or more is where? Okay, 5 or more means 5, 6 or more than 6. So that gives us how many? Got 13, add 11, add 5. Out of the total of our what? 100. So what does that all add up to? Lovely, and that's done. Next question. Last month, the shop had a total of 1,500 customers. Work on an estimate. Estimate is not short for guesstimate. For the number of customers who went to the shop exactly 2 times last month. So let's grab and so exactly 2 times last month was how many customers went exactly 2 times?
13.
Oops, I think I've written on top of it. Okay, let's start again. So 2 was, whoa, 13. So we have here 13 times. So we have 1,500 customers. Times that by 13 over. So that's the probability of it happening. 13 out of each 100. We got 1,500 customers. So we multiply the number of customers by the probability. That's how we work out this one. So all that gives us then, if you do multiply that gives us what? 100 and? Lovely, beautiful. Right, let's move on to the last part of this question as we quickly move through the paper. The owner of a different shop is carrying out a survey on the ages of his customers. He records the ages of the first 10 customers in the shop after 9 a.m. one morning. Okay, this may not be a suitable sample. Give 2 reasons why. And the first thing that we mentioned last week was the sample size is too small. Sample size is too small. So sample size of 10 is too small. Normally when you do a sample, we need like 100 plus. We have to get a nice result. Okay, the next reason. Okay, let's have a look. Now, second reason, the clue is here. Now, what happens if you ask people 9 o'clock in the morning? So what could that could do to your results? Okay, not necessarily be tired. Now, what kind of people shop at 9 o'clock in the morning so you would then pick a particular group of people, wouldn't you? Yeah. So if you pick in 9 o'clock in the morning, it might just be maybe the elderly people, maybe not the younger people. It might be younger people or not elderly people, depending on who's out and about that particular time, who's normally out. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we say here that customers at this time may not be representative of the ages of all the customers. So the time. So we say here, it is too early. The time, 9 a.m. is too early and may not be representative of the ages of all the customers. And that will give you 2 marks. So we've got to describe why the time isn't suitable. You attract a particular age of person at that time, early in the morning, and why the sample size is too small. So that's for the 2 marks. Okay, we finished copying that down, folks. So I want to make some rapid progress with the paper. We want to finish it in time. Might be within 15. Is. Okay.
No. No.
Okay, hang on a second. Start recording it. I came back. Did we record it?
Yeah.
The green? Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'll just. Yeah, we are. Green is good. Okay, are we ready to move on to the next question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you'll have to catch that up when you come back. Right. Okay, a little bit of a mini heart attack there. Let's go with the recording. Right, question number 9. The diagram shows a trapezium. It says A to D. Are you okay, Samara? You want to share the joke with the rest of us? Should we press pause again? Okay, let's press pause.
What's happened? I made the sound.
Okay, yes. Okay, the diagram shows that trapezium A to D is x centimeters. So let's write that down. A to D is x. B to C is the same length as A to D, so that is also x. A to B is twice the length of A to D, so that would be 2x. And then it goes D to C, the bottom line is 4 centimeters longer than A to B. So it's going to be what that is and another 4 on top. Now the question says, now that we've labeled all the distances on there, the perimeter, Mr. Junaid, when you talk about perimeter, what are we talking about? We're talking about the distance all the way around the shape. So the perimeter of the trapezium is equal to 38. So let's start from one corner and go all the way around. This is my arrows to show direction. We're traveling the shape. So we're going to start off with, we have an x, add another 2x, add another x, add 2x plus 4, and that perimeter will then give us a value of what? 38. So we can, in a sense, we can rub up, take the rubber, rub off the P and put 38 in there instead. Okay, let's get another color. So we can put here 38. Are we happy with that? Now we need to simplify all these x's first of all. So all of those x's will give us what?
6.
Plus 4 is 38. Now we need to start solving this and work out the value of x. So x is here. It's been timed by 6, first action. And then add by 4 is called the second action. We always move the last action first. So opposite of add 4 is minus 4. What's 38 minus 4? 34 is equal to 6x. And then the opposite of time by 6 is divide by 6. So x is equal to, so how many 6's go in 34?
5.6.
5 and, okay, 4, 6, which, okay, now that's the answer, 5 and 4, 6, which cancels down to what? 5 and 2/3. Because the top and bottom by 2. I'm going to leave my answer in that fractional form because it's a pure answer. We haven't done any rounding to it and all the information is contained. If you do give a rounded off answer, what do we get? If you do calculate, what do you get? You get 5.6 recurring.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put that down as a possible answer, but I like to just leave it in a more.
But I didn't get recurring.
It's not recurring though.
Yeah, I didn't
It
get
is recurring.
recurring.
Is it?
Because 4, 6 is 2/3. 2/3 is recurring. 2/3, don't forget. 5 and 2/3. 1/3 is recurring, so 2/3 is. What's 1/3? 1/3 is 0.3333. Now you calculate doing some rounding stuff on there. Trust me, 5 and
But I
2/3.
didn't get recurring when I did it last time.
Never mind. Just
Yeah,
stop
but
it.
anyway, are you supposed to do it to...
I would leave it as 5 and 2/3. If you were to round it off, you can give an answer between 5.6 and 5.7. Okay, but 5 and 2/3 is the desired answer. That's got the information has been maintained. You haven't lost any data. So let's keep things simple. 5 and 2/3. I'll be happy. No, try to be happy then. Be happy. Okay, next one. Let's make the page a bit bigger. Whoa. Okay, right. Okay, now big is good. I like big. Alright, the next one says p to the power of 3 squared. Let me just rewrite over here. When you raise a power to another power, what do we do? Times the powers. So that gives you what?
6.
P to the 6. Now, when you divide, so you got, for example, here, t to the 8 divided by t to the 3. These are both the same. So what you say is t to the 8 minus, which gives us t to the power of 5. Okay, the next question is a nice question. We have 2 to the power of 3 times by 2 to the power of n is equal to 2 to the power of 9. So let's just write that down here a bit more clear. Where they got n, I'm going to put a box there. Now, when we multiply, what do we do with the powers normally? We add them. So this 3 here is being added. This 3 is being added with this number here to give us 9. So 3 and what is 9? 6. So that means the n value must be 6. Lovely. Okay, let's move down a bit. Oh, that's even more nice. Okay, so here we have 2x cubed equals 128. Work out the value of x. So 2x cubed equals 128. Now, we want to work out the value of x. What do we do with the 2 first of all? So x first of all is being cubed, the first action, and this is the second action. First action, second action. So opposite time by 2 is? Divide by 2. So x to the power of 3 is equal to 128 divided by 2, which gives us 64. Okay, lovely. Now, opposite of cubing something is cube rooting it. So x is equal to the cube root of 64, which gives us 4. So we have P6, T5, 6, and now 4. Are we happy with that, with those so far, yeah? Should we quickly move on to the next question? Let's move get back down to size. Okay, lovely. Right. Question number 11. Here is a plan of Martin's driveway. Okay. Martin's going to cover his driveway with gravel. The gravel will be 6 centimeters deep, and important information there. 6 centimeters deep. So we have a length in a sense, a width, and we have a depth. Gravel is sold in bags. There are 0.4 meter cube of gravel in each bag. Each bag costs £38. Martin gets a discount of 30% of the cost of the gravel. Work out the total amount of money Martin pays for the gravel. So first of all, we need to work out the volume. So the volume is equal to the length times by the width times by the height. They mentioned depth. We put D for depth. It's the same thing. So we do it in context of the question, yeah? It's still the height. Okay, let's put some values in. This is the part that we're going to be careful. Now the length, we said, what was the length? 11 meters. And the width is? And the depth is? Or what you really mean is? Why is that? Because the depth has been given to us in centimeters. So 6 centimeters, if we change that to meters, we have to divide it by 100. 6 divided by 100 is 0.06. We must maintain that all the numbers are of the same units. You can't have meters and centimeters in there. We must maintain the consistency of the units, okay? We cannot mix meters and centimeters. It's got to be all in meters or all in centimeters. So that's the volume that we need to fill with the gravel. So can somebody give me an answer for that first of all, please? That is what?
It's 2.64.
2.64 meters cubed is the volume of the drive. Now, if you look at the question says that the gravel is sold in how many meter cubed? 0.4. So we now got to calculate the number of bags that he needs. So we have to do this is the volume that we need divided by 0.4, which is how much is in each bag. See how many bags would fit in there. So 2.64 divided by 0.4 on our calculators, folks. Can you please help me out here, please? 6.6. Is that 6.6 exactly?
Yeah.
6.6 bags. I'm going to write that down for the moment and I want you to think about that statement. Now, we need 6.6 bags mathematically. When you go to the shop, can you buy 6.6 bags?
No.
We have to actually buy
7.
the 7th bag to cover it. So we have to round it up for it to be sensible and for it to be doable. So we need altogether 7 bags. Okay, now we need to work out the cost of those 7 bags. So we've got 7 bags multiplied by the cost per bag, £38 a bag.
266.
So the answer for that will be?
266.
Okay, 266.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely.
See, you might.
Exactly?
Yeah.
Okay, £266 exactly, but we missed out one thing. I don't think you realize we missed out, but we probably
The percent.
the
So
discount.
it'll be 180.
Everybody loves a discount. Okay, so we got to now knock off 30%. Now, the best way for us to think about 30% discount is this: if you save 30%, how much do you pay for? 70%. If you get a 30% discount in the shop, that means 30% you don't need to pay for, but you still got 70% left to pay for. So 30% off means that we are going to pay 70% off the £266, and that can be translated as 0.7, because 70% as a decimal multiplier is 0.7, times by 266, and that gives us an answer of
186.2.
because it's decimal money, put extra zero in, and well done, folks. That here is the final answer. I'm just going to put a circle around it there to indicate that's my final answer. Okay, we done that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's try to finish this question number 12. Then we'll have a break then. Okay, question number 12A. Here are the first 5 terms of an arithmetic sequence. Okay, find in terms of n an expression for the nth term of the sequence. So let's have a look. So what can we say first of all? So it goes up in 5 each time, yeah? 4 add 5 is 9, 9 add 5 is 14. So we're going up in 5s. So if it goes up in 5s, that means the pattern will contain a 5n. It will contain a 5n if it's going up in 5s. Now, let's try it. Let's try it for the first term. So this here is n is equal to 1 is here. That's my first term. That's my second term, and that's my
Third term.
oops, that's my third term, and that one here is my fifth term, yeah? Just I've missed out the second and fourth numbering, first place. Now if I put 1 into here, what's 5 times by 1? 5. But what should I really get? 4. How do I get 4? Then what do we do? Minus 1. That's my adjustment. Because 5 minus 1 will give us the 4 that we actually need to get. So the question says write an expression. An expression has no equal sign in it, so we write it literally as that, 5n minus 1. Here are the first 5 terms of a different sequence, 2, 2, 0, minus 4, minus 10. An expression for the nth term of this sequence is that. Write down in terms of n expression for the nth term of a sequence whose first 5 terms are this. What do we realize about the pattern? The bottom one is double of the top one. So what will happen to the rule? We will just double the rule. So it will be 2 lots of 3n minus n squared. Just leave it out. Done. Done? Happy with that? Okay, has everybody got that down? Okay, so we're gonna go for a short break now. Just give me a chance to break and then come back. Question number 13. Okay, folks, we're back live now, folks. Can you please focus on the lesson? Thank you. Question number 13. Y is an integer. Write and all the possible values of y. It says y must be greater than minus 5. So if it's greater than minus 5, then we should really include what number? Minus 4. Then minus 3. And then minus 2, minus 1, and 0. Including 0 because it says less than or equal to 0. So all of these are the answers that will satisfy that condition. So minus 5 is not included because it goes more than minus 5, which means, so if you would look at a line, so here's your minus 5, and here's your 0, and here's your minus 4. So your solution will be all of these numbers. Oops, okay, let's just not know something there. That's better. Okay, we have here, oh, okay, because I'm trying to do something, oh, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. So there's our numbers. So for example, what's included is all of these numbers here. These are included and not that one because it says it's going to be more than minus 5. Lovely. Next one, solve 6x minus 2 in brackets greater than 15. What do we do with this question, folks? What do we do? We can expand the bracket. Do we need to expand the bracket? Not necessary. Okay, we got x minus 2. Minus 2 is the first action and time by 6 is the second action. So opposite time by 6 is divide by 6. So we treat the inequality sign as though it was an equal sign. The way we do the maths, I'm talking about. The only time we have to do something with the inequality sign is if you divide or multiply by a negative number, then you reverse the sign. That's all. So now we have x minus 2 is greater than 15 over 6. Then we have to move the what over? What do you move over next? Minus 2. That becomes plus 2. The sign stays the same in the same place. So 15 divided by 6, add 2. If you work that out, what's 15 divided by 6, add 2? What will that give us? On the calculator? 4.5. Or if you leave it the old-fashioned way, 4.5. So that would actually be the answer. X is greater than 4.5. And that is the answer. Okay, are we happy with that, folks? Move on to the next question. Ali is planning a party. He wants to buy some cakes and some sausage rolls. Cakes and sausage rolls. The cakes are sold in boxes. There are 12 cakes in each box. Each box of cakes costs £2.50. The sausage rolls are sold in packs. There are 8 sausage rolls in each pack. Each pack of sausage rolls costs £1.20. Ali wants to buy more than 60 cakes and more than 60 sausage rolls. He wants to buy exactly the same number of cakes and sausage rolls. What is the least amount of money Ali will have to pay? So what we need to look at here, we have cakes sold in packets of 12 and sausages sold in packets of 8. So we need to consider the 8 and the 12 times tables and find out when is the first multiple of 8 and 12 which is bigger than 60. So let's have a look at the multiples of 8 now. So give me the multiples of 8 first of all. So 8, come on. 8, 16, yeah, keep on going. 24.
32.
Okay, 32. 40. 48. 56.
90. No, 64.
64 then.
72.
Let's stop there for the moment. Now let's do for 12. So the multiples of 12 are 12, 24, 48.
72.
Okay, let's stop there for the moment. Now it says here that we need to find more than 60 of each. Yeah, but exactly the same amount. So what will that make then? So 72. Now, if you're gonna stick to that number, if you're gonna buy 72 of each here, then we need to know how many packets of the 12 and how many packets of the 8. Let's do that now. So for the how many 12s make 72? 6. So we're going to buy 6 packets of, or 6 boxes of cakes. And how much does each box cost? £2.50. Okay, now, if you look at the one with 8 sausage rolls sold in packets of 8, how many 8s go into 72? 9. So we're going to buy 9 packs. 9 packs of the sausage rolls. How much do sausage rolls cost? £1.20. So can you give me an answer for top and bottom, please, folks? The top one will give us £15. And the bottom one will give us
£10.80.
And what we do with these two numbers? Add them up. So that's this one is the cost of cakes, and this is the cost of sausage rolls. So that will give us a total answer of? Lovely. So £25.80 is the least amount of money Ali will have to pay, satisfying the conditions that he put down in the question. Let's move on. Okay, question number 15. Okay, 1 second. Question number 15. The diagram shows the position of 3 turbines A, B, and C. A is that A is 6.6 kilometers due north and that one's due west. Calculate the distance AC. Now, we have a right angle triangle of which, what side don't we know? AC. Opposite the right angle triangle, that side is called the hypotenuse. Okay? So we have a rule that says the hypotenuse, hypotenuse squared is equal to
A squared plus B.
Yeah, A squared plus B squared. In this case, we can say, put in context CB squared plus AB squared. We happy with that? I should be really BC squared to put it in properly, but never mind. So it's going to be equal to this side squared plus this side squared, like that. Now, do you want to work at the hypotenuse squared or just the hypotenuse by itself? By itself. So this is the length that we've got to work out here. So we have to do opposite squaring it is. So the hypotenuse is actually AC is equal to the square root of 4.5 squared add 6 squared. So we get a calculator and we do exactly that. So we do shift square root. Okay, no, that's not that one. Okay, do that. So we do, I think it's that one here. Shift square root. Yeah, that's better. 4.5 squared add 6 squared, and that gives us an answer of, and that is the answer. The next question says calculate the bearing of C from A. Now this is where students make a mistake. Calculate the bearing of C from A. Now let me give you an example. If I say to you, get me the chocolates from the cupboard, where do you start doing that task? Start at the cupboard. So C from A means start at A. So we start at the A and we go towards the C. Right, let's strip off this. We don't need that anymore over here. Let's strip this off here. We don't need that anymore. We need to use this diagram again. So C from A. So let's change the color that we have as well. Let's go to A. So when we start at A, we got which way direction do we face?
No.
And then go all the way down till we get to the direction of C, which is there. Now, this is made up of two elements. We have 180 degrees over here, which is the straight line part, and then we have this other angle here that we've got to work out. So let's work out that angle now. Okay, we have a right angle triangle, which we've got to work out the angle, and we know these two lengths at the moment shown on the diagram. We have also worked out this length here as well. But we're not going to use that for the moment, just use these two. So what do we do first? We have to label this diagram. So this is the angle that we need. Oh, call it theta, angle symbol. Let's call it angle A. So opposite the angle on a right angle triangle, we call that side the opposite. Opposite the right angle is called the hypotenuse. And the remaining side is called the adjacent. Now, this question is between the opposite and the adjacent. This has already been given to us. O and A. Now, if it's between O and A, that's OA. So out of soccer TOA, which one is it? TOA. So I'm just going to do over here on the side for the moment. So we write down TOA. Remember, TOA is short for this trigonometrical identity. This to help us remember it. Tan of the angle is equal to the opposite divided by the adjacent. Now, what do we want to work out? We know the O and we know the A. Let's tick those. So we know the O and we know the A. We want to work out the angle which we put across this because we don't know it. We need to work it out. So what do? We cover this part up with our both thumbs. So here comes the finger. On top of this, here's my finger there. Okay. So we say tan of the angle is equal to O over here. I'm just writing it down from here. That was just me to kind of remind you what it is. But I'm actually now doing the question fresh from here. So we want to work out the angle. We got tan of the angle. What do we do with the angle? So what do we do with the tan? Take it over to the side. So it was tan on this side. It becomes tan minus 1 inverse tan of O over A. And that angle is actually that missing angle there. So we do tan to the minus 1 of, what is the O value? 4.5. What is the A value adjacent? 6. So let's work that out, folks, first of all. So the angle here is get our calculator, move to one side. So press shift, tan to the minus 1, brackets, fraction button 4.5, replay, bring it to the bottom 6, replay again, close bracket. Are we happy with that? So what do we get? So we get for that one question 15b. We haven't finished the question yet, by the way, folks. So that part is going to give us 36.86. Okay, lovely. Right. Is that right? Yeah, 36.86. Okay, now remember the bearing is going to be 180 plus, isn't it? Yeah, because that was just agrees with that angle here. So we have to now do 180 degrees, which is this part here, plus the angle we just worked out. So 180 plus, what was it? 36.86 degrees. And that will give us an answer of 16.861. So that will give us 6. What's that? 8 and 3 will give us? So we get, we haven't finished yet. So we get 216.86 degrees of one. But it goes, give the answer correct to the nearest. So to the nearest whole number. So 216.86 becomes what? 217. Lovely. 217 degrees is the bearing correct to the nearest degree. Because this number 8 here, whoops, this number 8 here is more than 5. 5 or more. It's the 6. Okay, we're happy with that. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, next part. Question number 16. Work out the value of 7.5 times by 10 to the 4 times by 2.5 times by 10 to the 3. Give your answer in standard form. So first of all, we can put this into our calculators. So do we need brackets? You can put them in. So we have 7.5. Now, how do we get time by 10 to the 4? And normally on this calculator, I haven't used this calculator for that before. Okay, this one. Time by 10, that means time by 10 to the, put the 4 there, close the brackets. So you use the EXP button if you got that. On your calculator, you got time by 10 to the power of. You where my EXP button is on your calculator, it's time by 10 to the X. Use that button, please. And then times, brackets, 2.5 EXP, which means time by 10 to the power of. Here the power is 3. Close the brackets, equals. So I get an answer here of, oh, my calculator is disappeared. Just give me one moment while I move the calculator to the side. 187,500,000. Folks, have I done that right here? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we've got to change that back into standard form. To change that back into standard form, the decimal point needs to be where? There. So we need 1.875 times by 10 to the power of. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the answer. Are we happy with that? Are we happy with that, yeah? Okay. Folks, we can quickly copy that down. Ready? Copy it all down. And then move on to the next question. Copy from there. Yeah. Tell you what. There you go. Hold on. Okay, be careful. Okay, right, let's move on to the next question now, folks. You're still live, folks, not really recording at the moment. So keep all your comments civil, please. Right, question number 17. Let's move my calculator out of the way. Right, here we go. Okay, ladies, right. It says here, quadrilaterals A, B, C, D, and L, M, and P are mathematically So we call this question, what is it called?
Similar shapes.
Similar shapes. Come on, Mr. Harun, take a seat, please. So go slowly. Right. Work out the length of LP. So where's LP? LP is
There.
this length here. Now, which side corresponds to LP?
The AD.
That one. So this one multiplied by our scale factor will give us LP. Is that right?
Yeah.
So LP is equal to 5 multiplied by the scale factor. This is 5, this is scale factor, okay? Now they look a bit the same. Okay. Can't really do much about that for the moment. Now, we need to work at the scale factor. So we work at the scale factor by considering two other corresponding lengths. So the number 6 corresponds with 9. So from here we can try to work out the scale factor. So let's work that out first. So we say here that 6 multiplied by the scale factor is equal to, therefore, opposite of time by 6 is, so the scale factor will give us 9 over 6, which will give us what? 1.5, yeah? Okay. So the scale factor we have is 1.5 exactly. Now we can put the scale factor into here. So 1.5 multiply, remember this was not an S, this is a 5. So the LP is 5 times by 1.5, which gives us an answer of 7.5. Lovely. New color. Okay, work out the length of BC. So BC is where? I'm going to rub off some of this stuff because it's getting in the way now for the next part of the question. Rub off all this stuff here. Oh, that's a bit easier. Press that and press delete. Okay, and let's like that. What's happened to my pen? I've lost my pen. Give me a second, folks. Okay, right. Let's go back to rubber. Okay, I think that bit. Okay, that's already used up. Now we don't use that again. Okay, right, lovely. So we want to work out the length of BC, which is this one. So we know that BC, okay, now this length here corresponds to what? MN. So BC times by the scale factor will give us MN. So BC, okay, let's actually write the BC slightly higher up because we're going to have space. Oh, we can just move it down. So we say here BC times by the scale factor. What is the scale factor?
1.5.
Still 1.5 is equal to 12. So to work out the BC, what do we do with the scale factor now? We have to take it over to the other side and divide. So the opposite of time by 1.5 is divide by 1.5. So BC is equal to 12 divided by 1.5, which gives us an answer of 8 centimeters. Lovely. You all done with that one? Okay, so I need to move the screen around a little bit. Please make sure you copy that down. You got that down? You're doing the last calculation there. Okay, good stuff. Right, next page, question number 18. Let's move it down a bit. How are you finding this paper so far? Okay. Question number 18. Katie invests £200 in a savings account for 2 years. The account pays compound interest at an annual rate of that for the first year and that for the second year. Work out the total amount of money in Katie's account at the end of 2 years. So what we need to do here, now you have to remember here these figures they're given us. 3.3%. 3.3% means 3.3% extra on top of the original amount. What's the original amount percentage? It's counted as 100%. So if we consider the original amount as 100%, it's gone up by 3.3%. Now, so we're going to do £200. We're going to increase it. We're going to multiply that by 103.3% for the first year. Why 103.3? Because the 100% contains the original 200 and the 3.3 will give us the extra. So in that one number, we have the original value plus the increase amount. That's why it's 103.3. So they gave us 3.3, but we are going to use 103.3. So we add 100 onto it. So that 100 brings the original information, which is £200. And then the second year is going to increase by 1.5%, and we interpret that as 101.5. Now, if we want to do this calculation, how do we change 103.3% into like a decimal multiplier? What do we do to it? We divide it by 100. So 103.3%, if you divide it by 100, will give you what as a decimal number? 1.033. And the same to this one will give you 1.015. So now the calculation can be done, and that is the correct understanding of it. That's not, this is one of the more efficient ways of doing it. So we got 200. So we get a calculator and we do the calculation. Okay. 200 times by 1.033. Oh, stop there. 1.033 times by 1.015. Oh no, oops. 15, is that right now? No. Yeah? Okay, what do we get, folks? 209.699. So 209.699. Okay, we got some ghosting on the page. Apologies for that, folks. Now we have to give that, as they told any degree of accuracy. But we should use our own common sense because it's decimal money. We give it to the nearest penny. So if you round that off to the nearest penny, so we'll look at that at 2 decimal places. So we look at the next number 9. That 9 there is 5 or more, so you add 1. So 69 pence becomes
70.
So the answer should be 209.70. Okay, right. Let's move the page down a bit. And that ghosting is still there. That's moving. Okay, right. I don't have to get rid of that now. Since why it's still there. Okay. Apologies for we have some kind of technical issue here. Can I borrow your paper to read that question? Okay. Katie travels to work by train. The cost of a weekly train ticket increases by 12.5% to something. Katie's weekly pay increases by 5% to that. Compare the increase in the amount of money Katie has to pay for a weekly train ticket with the increase in her weekly pay. So they've told us that it's increased by a certain percentage to that. So we need to work out what the actual increase was for each one. It's like a reverse question in a sense. Thank you. So let's have a look. So we have train ticket. The original train ticket, and it was increased by, what was it increased by? 12.5%. Okay, now 12.5%, what was the original value of the train ticket? It was worth how much? What's the original value of the train ticket? We just mentioned in the previous question. The original value is always considered as what? 100%. And then it's increased by 12.5%. So how much percent do we have now altogether? 112.5. So the train ticket original price times by 112.5% gave us the answer of, what was it, 225. I can't see there's some issue here with the printer. I don't know how to get rid of it. Okay, let's just move it down and move it up again. That doesn't do anything. Okay, that's the train ticket, isn't it? Yes? So we're going to work out the original price of the train ticket. Now, what did we say about the 112.5%? We can convert that into decimal multiplier by doing what? By dividing it by 100. So the train ticket original price, okay, train ticket, times by 1.125 will give us what? 225. Now, I want to work out the original price of the train ticket. So the opposite of multiplying by 1.125 is to So the train ticket originally cost 225 divided by 1.125. So what was the original price, folks? Can you give me value, please?
200.
Beautiful answer.
Thank you.
Okay, £200 was the original value. So how much did the train ticket go up by? £25. So the train ticket increased by £25 increase in the train ticket. That's a little note for ourselves. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to put a line here. Oops, I went a little bit too high. Okay. Now, let's do the same thing again. Let's work it out for the wages. Let's see how much the wages changed by. Because Katie's weekly pay increased by 5% to 535. So we use the same idea there. So, original pay. Now, it increased by 5%. What was the original value of the salary? It was worth 100%. It went up by 5%. So that gives us a total of 105%. And that gives us a total answer of £535.50. That's the second part now. Let's go. Yeah? Are we happy like this? Now, we said we will change the 105%. We change into what? Decimal multiplier. So divided by 100 gives you what?
1.05.
So the original pay multiply 1.05 gives us 535.5. 0 as well. Okay, now we need to work out the original pay. So what do? Opposite time by 1.05 is to do what?
Divide.
Okay, I didn't want red, I wanted black. Opposite time by that is to divide by 1.05 side. So the original pay was what? What was the original pay now then? So 535.50 divided by 1.05 gives us an original pay of what?
510.
£510. Now, how much has the pay increased by then?
25.
A bit more than 25.
How? I said like 25.
Remember, it's £535.50.
Oh, yeah.
So the original, so from 535.50 minus the 510 will give us what?
25.
£25 and 50 pence. So the pay, pay has increased by £25.50. And the question says to us, compare the increase in the amount of the money she pays for train ticket with the increase in the weekly pay. So what comment could we write for this one? We could write down what?
That is 50p more.
50p. What is 50p more?
The week.
The weekly pay has increased by 50p.
Extra.
Yeah. I'm clear for that. Let's choose a different color. So we can say that the pay increase. Okay, the pay increase is greater. Pay increase is greater than. Okay, I'm writing all over the place. Please try to keep yours within the space. Pay greater than the. What was the train ticket increase?
Yeah.
By how much?
50p.
By 50p. That will do as the answer. We've done all the working out. We've done a reverse percentage question. We've done it backwards. We worked out the differences and we made a comment saying that this one is increased more. That's the one. They want us to compare it. So we compared it. Okay, and we made a comment on it. And that's the end of that particular question. Okay, folks, has everybody got those questions down for the solutions? Okay, right. Okay, let's open some windows. Control. Okay, right. Here is a cuboid drawn on a 3D grid. P is the vertex of the cuboid. T divides the line OP in the ratio 1 to 2. Okay, let's draw a quick line there. So we're going from O to P. That's nice. Now, it divides, because T divides the line OP in the ratio 1 to 2. How many parts do we have in this ratio? 1 to 2, we have how many parts? 3 parts. And the first part is worth what? 1/3, and the second part is worth 2/3 of the way, yes? So now we can put, for example, we can say that's going to be our T point. So T divides the line into 1 part and 2 parts. So that's 1/3 of the way up. And this part is worth 2/3 of the way. Now let's work out what the coordinates of point P is, because we've got to find the coordinates of T. Now let's do P first. So P is equal to, remember, x, y, z. In that order. So P is, that's how the order is. Now P, if you go along the x coordinates, P is what? How many is along the x?
6.
It's not 5, it's 6, yeah? Good. 6. And then along the x is going to be what? Along the y? 4. And then along the z? 3. So let's write them down, put in the right order. So 6 first, and then 4, because 4 is the height, and then 3. So don't get confused about that. Actually, it's not looking like it's on a 6. It actually is a 6 because of the symmetry of the shape here. Now, we got to work out 1/3 of the way along that, from 0 to that point. So what do we do? If you want to work out 1/3 of the way, what do? We divide by?
3.
So what's 6 divided by 3?
2.
What's 4 divided by 3? 4 divided by 3 is 1 and 1/3. 4/3 is 1 and 1/3. And what's 3 divided by 3? Really hard question for don't rush.
1.
Okay, question number 20 without any further delay. Let's have a question number 20. Number 20 is a reverse mean question where you gotta use your brain power. It says that 25 students in class A did a science exam. 30 students in class B did the same science exam. The mean mark for 25 students in class A was that, and for the class B was, and for class A and B was that. So let's start writing down some facts. Is the staff of you okay? Am I missing the joke? Okay. So the mean of class A is equal to what? When you look at the mean, what are we talking about? The total divided by the number of events, yeah? So we got the total score for class A divided by how many students in class A?
25.
25. And what was the mean then for class A? What was it?
67.
So let's get rid of the MA and put the, let's rub it out. And let's put down here instead 67.8, and that's the, we can put a little arrow here and say this is the mean. And the symbol for mean normally is like this. Mean of class A is that. So the mean of that class is where the number come from. It came from the total score divided by the number of students. Okay, now let's do the same for the next part of the information, which says this horrible green color. Ugh. Okay. Now, then it goes the mean mark for all the students. So the next one is going to be the mean of class A and class B. Okay, so the total. How many students in both classes?
55.
55. What was the mean of the 55 students?
72.
So I'll put 72 at the front. That's the mean. The mean of class A and B is here. I've labeled it all up. So what do we need to do now? What's missing from each equation? We don't know. What do we know? We need to work out the score for class A and class A and B combined, and then we can work out the difference, isn't it? Okay. Right, let's do that. We want to work out the totals. I wanted an orange. Okay, let's try that again. So we want to work out the total score of A. Opposite of sorry about that, folks. Opposite dividing by 25 is? Times by 25. So, on your calculators, please, folks. Can you do 67.8 multiply that by 25?
About 1695.
So 67.8. Folks, are we doing that on the calculator?
Yeah,
Boys at the front?
1695.
I'll double check that for you. I'll put the right number in. Okay. So this total score then will be give us what?
1695.
Okay, 1695. Thank you. Right, and then we want to work at the total score of A and B. Opposite dividing it by 55 is 55. So we have here now
3960.
so this is 39. Okay, the question goes, work out the mean mark for students in class B. Let's write down what that actually looks like. So the mean of class B is going to be the total marks for B. For class B divided by the number of students in class B. Okay, now, what is the total marks of class B? Do we know what the total marks of class B is?
No.
We can work it out by 3960 minus. Yeah, because that's A and B, that's A. So we minus it will give us B. So let's do that now. Let's do 3960 minus 1695. What is 3960 minus 1695?
2265.
Okay, that will give us here 2265 is the marks for B, and then we divide it by the number of students in B. How many students are there in B? They are, how many students tells you here at the beginning? 30 students. So 2265 divided by 30 will give us an answer of
75.5.
and that is absolutely beautiful answer, and that is correct. So the mean mark for students in class B is 75.5. So we use both pieces of information. We worked out the total score of A, total score of A and B, minus some to work out the score of B, and then we can work out the means of B. Because we need to know the score of B, and that was hidden.
And just 3 marks.
Yeah, that's 3 marks. Yeah, you should complain to the examiner and ask them for 6 marks, for example. Just because it's more work, yeah? Okay, how many got that? Ladies in the back, and got all that down?
Yeah.
Mr. Honey?
Yeah.
Happy with that? Mr. Saf? Good. Okay, lovely. Let's move on.
You're dead.
Okay, let's just find the mouse. House of mouse. It's still recording here. What happened?
I was shooting her in the hand.
I shot her in the brain.
Okay. Ladies, please. Okay, question number 21A. Expand and simplify. Right. Should be nice and straightforward question. Start with the y, multiply by the y multiply by minus 5. So y times by y is going to give us, then we have y times by minus 5, that gives us minus 5y. How are we doing, Mr. Holman? Okay? You look a bit flustered today. You got minus 2 next time by y. What's minus 2 times by y? Minus 2y. We got minus 2 times by minus 5 next. That gives us what?
Minus 7. Plus 10.
Wow, minus 7.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if you haven't realized, we multiply them that one. Okay, lovely. Let's simplify this. What do we get? So the y squared stays as y squared. This part here simplifies because they're both y terms collecting like terms. That gives us what? And that part stays the same. Plus 10. Whoops. Okay, no. That's 10. Okay, if you got that, did we get y squared minus 7y plus 10?
Yeah.
And the answer goes here.
That's what I got.
Okay, prove algebraically that 2n plus 1 squared minus 2n plus 1 is an even number for all positive values of n. Right, now, what does that square there mean?
That is squared.
That means write the bracket at
Twice.
twice. That means times by itself. Whoops, oh, that's funny brackets. Okay, now let's multiply these brackets. So what's 2n times by 2n?
4n squared.
So let's, do we need to write this one down? We just say it and write down, yeah? So 2n times by 2n will give us
4n
4n squared. 2n times by plus 1 will give us
2n.
plus 2n, not 2n, plus 2n.
Yeah.
Plus 1 times by 2n will give us
Plus
plus 2n. Plus 1 times by plus 1 will give us plus 1. We're going to say the plus because that helps us combine everything together here. And we've got here minus, but what's outside the bracket here? Minus 1. So you have to multiply this bracket out by multiplying everything by minus 1. So minus 1 times by 2n is?
Why is that here?
Is which one? That one there. That's actually an n split.
Oh,
Sorry about that, that's my handwriting. What's minus 1 times by plus 1?
-1.
Minus 1. Okay? Are we happy with that so far? So what we need to do now, we need to do a bit of cancelling. If are we doing cancelling? So plus 1 and minus 1, they cancel each other out. Okay, that's not,
This is that or windy outside.
yeah, okay. So we got here. Okay. Cross these two out. Okay, we got plus 2n. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, folks. We got some software remnants. So we have plus 2n and minus 2n. They cancel each other out completely. Yeah? So what are we left with?
4n squared.
So we left with
4n
4n squared plus
2n.
plus 2n. Now, if you want to factorize this, we factorize it, what will you get?
2n
So we take the 2n from each one.
and n 2n. Sorry.
Right. So how do we know? Because proof algebra says it is an even number for all positive integer values of n. Now, so this n can be, this n particular n can be odd or even. Now, so what is the proof that it's going to always be positive?
If anything times 2 is positive.
That's anything times by 2 is even. So we got to prove that it's going to be even number. So once you introduce a multiplier by 2 in the question, so in essence what we could do here, we could say this. So separate as 2 times by n times by 2n plus 1. Yeah, so whatever these numbers are here, you have a product with a 2 in it. As long as you multiply the number by 2, it will convert it, whether it's odd or even, it will convert it back into even. So let's write that down as a comment. Okay, so we say the, okay, the 2, i.e. multiplying by 2, okay, proves, whoops, okay, that's about, oh, whoa, that's funky. Okay. Shows that the expression will always be an even number. If we multiply any integer,
Do I have to write this?
well, it's your lesson, isn't it? What do you think? Do you think I'm writing it for fun? If we multiply any integer, oh, this spelling looks horrible. Let's just try that again. Okay, and if we multiply any integer, so the integer n, if we multiply any integer by 2, we
So what does that say? That the
will always get an even number.
So what does that say? Shows that the
So
at the top shows that
the 2, I time by 2 shows that the expression will always be an even number. The time by 2, that's the proof. Because if we multiply any integer by 2, we will always get an even number. So it's the doubling effect that turns an odd into an even, and even as an one.
because every time by 2 even number. Yeah, right.
Okay, right. Are we happy with that? Get the word now, please, quickly. You write one word as well. Okay, we need to finish now, folks. Let's just. If you multiply any integer n by 2, we will always get an even number. If you multiply any odd number, you can say as well. Any odd number times by 2 is always an even, and an even times by 2 is always even. So the times in by 2, that factor times by 2, that will generate even numbers. Okay, answer. Let's just quickly do question number 22. Nice and straightforward question. Okay. Shabin has a biased coin. The probability the coin will land on the heads is 0.6. So that means the probability that it will land on the tails is going to be equal to 0.4 because they both got to add up to 1. Shabin is going to throw the coin 3 times. She said the probability the coin will land on tails 3 times is less than 0.1. Is she correct? So we want probability of tails and the probability of tails and the probability of tails. So we want 3 tails, yes?
Yeah.
What's the probability of the first tail?
0.6.
0.4.
Yeah.
And means?
Times.
And the probability of the second tail is 0.4 because they're independent. They don't change.
0.4.
And the last one's going to be 0.4. So what's 0.4 times by 0.4 times by 0.4? Quickly. And the calculator, please, folks.
1.2.
Twins there.
0.1 what?
It is.
0.2. 0.0.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. The question goes that it will be less than 0.1. Is this number less than 0.1? Yes. So 0. Is she correct? And the answer is
Yeah.
yes. 0.064 is less than 0.1. Okay, we've got a couple of questions left, folks. Can you please answer? Okay, folks, welcome back. Okay, just going to complete this video now by myself. Students have gone home. Question 23a. Explain what is meant by a stratified sample. So a stratified sample is a sample in the same proportion as the population. Same proportions in the same proportions as the population. Okay, the table shows information about the ages of the people living in a village. Okay, let's just take this page up a bit because we put in some more space. It says here, Mrs. Parrish carries out a survey of these people. She uses a sample size of 50 people stratified by age group. Work out the number of people over 60 years of age in the sample. So over 60 years is going to be, we are considering this group here. Now to do a stratified sampling, what we do is we have always our selected sample divided by the total population, multiply that by the stratified sample size. Stratified. So let's have a look where all these numbers are coming from. Now, first of all, we need to work at our total of all of the number of people living in the village. So we need to add all of these up. So 72, add 90, add 123, add 314. That gives us a total of 599. Okay, so the total of this is 599. So that is going to be your total population. Your selected sample, or we're looking at the overseas, which is that one. So let's just get so the 314, whoops, right, goes here. The total sample size goes on the bottom. Okay, and we want a stratified sample of, oops, wrong one. Okay, no, 50, that goes here. So let's put everything into context. We have 314 is the ones which are over 60. We have a total population of 599. So it's 314 out 599 times by the sample, stratified sample size, which is 50. So we've got to grab all of this, throw it into the calculator, and that will give us a value of, well, let's see what the calculator tells us. Let's have a look. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that again. Right, let's go down. Okay, right, it's not refreshing properly the screen for some reason. Alright, let's have a look how this goes. Let's hope we don't have any problems with the video. So we have here 314. Sorry about that, folks. Let's do it again. 314. Okay, and we're going to, oops, the fraction button first. 314. Oh, I want 4. Replay, bring 599 on the bottom, replay it again, and then multiply that by 50 is the stratified sample size, gives us that, and we need to change that, and we get 20. So 314 divided by 5, oops, I've put in 5 now. Excuse me, folks, let's do that again, pardon me. 314, and I've asked for 4 and I'm getting 1. And it should be 599 on the bottom. Oh, this is really going crazy. Okay, there we go, that's better. 599, press replay now, times by 50. Okay, press FD button. So that gives us 26.22. Okay, right. 26.2. Now 26.2, we can't choose 26.2 people, so we can only choose, we can round up to the nearest whole number for this one to make sense. So it'll be 26 people will be in that sample, and that's my final answer. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know why it's doing that. Some technical problems with the question. Oops, let's move that down. Okay, it's gone. Yes, lovely. Yes, technical problems are gone. Next question. Question number 24. P is inversely proportional to T. So we say P is inversely proportional to T, which means 1 over T. That's the sign proportionality. Inversely is the 1 over. Now we can change that into P is equal to proportionality, so it takes the form of a K over T. Because, okay. Now, we know the value of P of 12. So the P value is 12. The T, when the T value is 4. So we can now work out the K value. So we start out with our basic rule. We change the proportionality sign into equals K, because it's K times by 1 with K over T. So we now want to work out K value. Opposite of divide by 4 is time by 4. So that gives you 48 is equal to K. So this here was our general term. Now it becomes specific. So we can now say P is now equal to the K value, which we just found out to be 48. 48 divided by T. Now this is called our specific formula, that's what I'm going to call it. Let's put a box around it. Okay, let's just hope that it doesn't disappear. Okay, that's lovely. All right, let's go back to pen. Now it goes, so we've used the information they gave us initially to work out the K value. So we know what the K value is. So that's 48. We've put it back into our general formula. And we've got our specific formula. Now it goes, find the value of P when T is equal to 6. So we now know that T is equal to 6. So we're going to get this value here, T equals 6, and put into there. So P is equal to 48 divided by 6. So P is equal to, okay folks, come on with that. Okay, so we have is equal to 8 is the answer for P, and that's the end of that question. Next question, we're getting towards the end of the paper now, and let's just hope we get all this recorded nicely. Okay, right. The diagram shows a solid made from a hemisphere. Hemisphere is half of a sphere. for a sphere. Sphere is like a ball, and half a ball is called a hemisphere. And a cone, we all know what an ice cream cone looks like, just turn it upside down. The radius of the hemisphere is 4 centimeters, the radius of the base of the cone is 4 centimeters. Calculate the volume of the solid. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So, right. Let's move it up a bit to get some more space. For this one, we need to look at the formula at the front of the paper. I'm just quickly referring to the formula sheet printed on the inside of the paper. Right now, if we're looking at a cone, right, here we go, and we want to work out the volume of the cone. So the volume, right up here, volume of the cone. Volume of the cone is equal to 1/3 time by pi time by the radius squared time by the height. Okay, now remember, if this is 4 here, and this is also 4 here as well. That's the radius, that's also the radius. That's also 4. So if this is 4 here, that means that the height here that we're looking at now, the height of the actual cone itself, will be equal to 10. But why? Because 10 add 4 is 14. So we know all those values now. We can start putting some of those values in. So we can write down 1/3. We use the pi button on the calculator. R is going to be 4 squared, then R squared times by the height, which is 10. So that will give us the volume of the cone. Okay, that's our ice cream cone. Now, so that will give us a particular value. Okay, we'll leave that for the moment. We'll come back to that and put that in the calculator. We now need to look at the hemisphere. Now we know for the sphere. Okay, let's do a different color now. So the volume of the hemisphere. Now the volume of a normal sphere is going to be 4/3 time by pi time by the r cubed. Now because it's half of a sphere, so then we have to times this by a half. Okay, so let's put some values in here now. So we got 4/3. Leave the pi as pi, we use the pi button. Calculate the radius is the same as 4. There's 4 cubed now, and times that by a half, and that will give us a volume that we need to add those volumes up together. So this is question number 25. So let's have a look what we get. Let's get our calculator. Okay, now let's hope we don't get any more ghosting. So we could actually do the question in terms of pi as well. Let's have a look. Okay, right. We have 1/3 fraction, 1, replay, third, replay, time by shift pi, time by 4 squared, time by 10. Whoops, oh, let's go back. Okay, yes. Okay, let's delete that one, it should be 10. And that gives us a 167. Okay, that's lovely. Let's write that down over here. So we get 167.5516. That'll do the mood. Let's work out this one now, the volume of our hemisphere. So get the calculator back out. Fraction button again. So 4, replay 3, replay, time by shift pi, time by 4 cubed this time, so we need 4 to the power of 3. Okay, let's bring the replay back down again. And then we've got to work out half of it. So I've written down half here. We can just put the fraction button back in again and put 1/2. Or we could type in 0.5. And that gives us a value of 134.0. Okay, so let's write that down. So 134. Let's add it back up. 0.0412. Let's double check that. Now we need to add up those two values, the first one and the second one, to get our final answer. The question says here, calculate the volume of the solid. So we need to add them up. So we got our answer shift answer, which is the one here. Then we can add to that 167.5516082 equals. So I have an answer now of, let's change color for the answer. Let's give it a nice purple. 301.59. And it says give it to three significant figures. Three significant figures, that means the first, second, third. Is that 5 or more? Yes, it is. Add 1. So I get an answer of 302. Okay, it's too bright. Okay, let's go for something. Okay. So my final answer is 302 centimeters cubed. Now, depending on whether you use 3.14 for pi or you use the calculator button for pi, we are allowed, the mark scheme allows us an answer between 301 and 302. But we've got the answer that's required by the examiner. That's the examiner looking for the answer, and we got exactly the answer, and so we are happy with that. We'll just leave it there. Move on to the next question. Okay, so we are on question number 26 now. Okay, let's have a look how much more we got left in this paper. Question 26. I think we've only got one left. Lovely. And it's time for bed. Okay, question number 26. Solve the equation. We have a simultaneous equation here. That equals x squared plus y squared equals 36. We'll call that equation number 1. Equation number 2. Let's make it a bit bigger. Right. Now, in order to work out this type of equation, this is the equation of a circle. X squared plus y squared equals 36. That's your standard side linear equation here. We need to substitute for x 2y plus 6. So what we're going to do here is get the y, get this here. Remember, this is what x is equal to. You put it into where x is there. So you have x squared. So you said x squared add y squared is equal to 36. So this is my value of x, put that into there. So I'm now going to have 2y plus 6. Because it's squared, that means multiplied by itself. 2y plus 6. Then add the other y squared that's already there is equal to 36. So now let's multiply it all out, simplify it, rearrange it, and solve it. So let's go for this. Okay, right. I think that comes a bit too light. Let's do the slightly darker one. So we have to start over here. 2y times by 2y will give us, whoops, pardon me. Okay, that will give us 4y squared. 2y times by 2y is 4y squared. 2y times by plus 6 will give us plus 12y. Okay, and then we have plus 6 times by 2y, that will give you another plus 12y, and plus 6 times by plus 6 will give you plus 36. Plus the y squared that is already out here, and that will give you 36. Okay, now we need to rearrange and simplify all of these equations in order, all of this here. Now the plus 36 needs to come over to here. We want to make a nice quadratic equation. So we have 4y squared, and then we add 1y squared, and that will give us 5y squared. So these two have been counted for. Opposite add 36 will give you minus 36. So these two will cancel each other out. And we have plus 12y, add another plus 12y, that will give you plus 24y is equal to 0. Now, if we factorize out the y, we will get something that looks like this. So y, 5y plus 24 is equal to 0. Now, in order for us to solve this, we can say either the y outside is equal to 0, this one, so that's one solution, Because if you put 0 in here, 0 times by anything will give you 0. So that's one solution. The other solution is if you make the y inside the bracket equal to naught. Now, so if you got, sorry, if you made this y equal to naught, we've got to make this, pardon me, you've got to make this bracket equal to naught. So for that one, we have to consider we have 5y plus 24 is equal to naught. So either this y is equal to naught or the bracket is equal to naught in order for the solution to be 0. So let's work out what the possible value of y would be. So let's choose a nice color. So opposite add 24 is minus 24. So 5y is equal to minus 24. And then the opposite of time by, opposite time by 5, because it's time by 5 here. Oh, it doesn't like that, pardon me. Opposite time by 5 is divide by 5. So y is equal to minus 24 divided by 5. Now minus 24 divided by 5 will give you minus 4.8. If you use the calculator, that will give you the answer. Minus 4.8. So what we have here, we have already two solutions now. We have two y values. So let's get those. So one solution was y equals 0. If you put 0 in here and there, it make everything become 0. Or if you make this bracket equal to naught, which gives us a y value of minus 4.8. So here are our two y values. So this is y. This is, we call it y1 and y2. Now, because of the nature of this circle equation, x squared plus y squared, we'll normally have two solutions. So we've got two y values, we'll have two corresponding x values. Now, how do we work out the x value? Well, we know how to work out the x value. X value is here. Equation number 2. X is equal to 2y plus 6. So that is equation number 2. What we need to do now, get our y values. Whoops. Oh, didn't want to do that. Get our y values and put into here. The first one. And then get the second y value put into there afterwards for the second part. So let's do that one part at a time. So what do we have here? So we say x is equal to 2. Let's put the 0 in first. 2 times by nothing plus 6. X is equal to nothing plus 6. X is equal to 6. So basically when y equals naught, we now have a corresponding x value. The x value is 6. So these two values are corresponding. So when y is nothing, x is 6. And let's do for the second one. So let's choose another color. I'm going to find my pen. Okay, right, let's go purple. Remember, we're going to put y equals 0 in. We've done that just now. Now we're going to put y equals minus 4.8 in there. So x is equal to 2 times by minus 4.8 plus 6. So what we're doing, we're putting the second y value into here to work out its corresponding x value. So that will give you x is equal to 2 times by minus 4.8 plus 6. That will give you a total of, you put that in the calculator, as minus 3.6. So the first one gave us a value of x equals 6, and the second one will give us a value of minus 3.6. And that is the end of that particular question. Let's move on. Right, let's reduce the size. Okay, question number 27. For question number 27, we're gonna, this is ABCD is a parallelogram. So the parallelogram, we know that the parallel sides are equal. So for example, if you have 11 on the bottom, we also have 11 on top, but we don't really need to, we can just put that in actually. Okay, there's 100 over here. That one will also be 100. Okay, calculate the area of the parallelogram. Now, in order for us to work out the area of the parallelogram is made of two triangles. Okay, now to work out the area, so we use all the space here. So to work out the area of one of these triangles, so for example, if I was to consider this triangle here, so the area of the parallelogram is equal to the area of one of the triangles times by 2. Because there's two of them. These are identical. Okay. Now, what is the area of a triangle? Now, if you go back to the beginning of your examination paper, you'll find out when you're doing want to work out the area of a triangle, which is non-right angle, we use the formula half time by AB sine C. That's the area of one of those triangles. Now you've got two of them, so we're going to multiply by 2. Now that 2 here will be cancelled out by the divide by 2 there. So the area of our parallelogram will actually be A time by B time by sin of C. Now, what that's talking about here, what the A and B value will be here. So you need to have 2 lengths with the angle in between it. So here's my 2 lengths. Let's get rid of some of these lines here. Let's get rid of these here just to make it a bit more neater. So we're breaking down the question into its components. So let's have a look. What do we have here? We are looking at, this could be called my little A. This one could be called my little B, because you already know those 2 parts of the triangle, and this is the angle that is in between it. And that would be called my, actually, it's a C anyway, so that's even more better. Little a, little b, big C. Little a, little b, big C. So to work out the area of this triangle, we need to know the 2 sides on either side of the angle. So we're going to work out this angle, we call it angle C, which is here. Now, in order for us to work out angle C, we first of all are going to, it's a multi-part question. We are first of all going to work out angle D. Why? Because that's what we can work out using sine rule. So number 1, we're going to work out angle D. Number 2, once we know angle D, we can easily work out angle C, because angle C will be 180 minus 100 minus angle D, because the angles of a triangle add up to 180. Once we know angle C, then we can finally use the formula on the other side and actually work out the area, which is A time by B time by the sin of C. And I've explained to you what happened to the 2's. Okay, so them are the 3 steps that we're going to utilize for this particular question. This question is the last question of the paper, and that's good, and it's worth 5 marks. So 5 marks, 3 steps. I want you to do some work. Right, just give me 1 moment. Okay, let's go and work this to part 1 now. Part 1, angle D. So, what do we say? So if you look at this triangle here, we can say here, sine of big D over its corresponding length is equal to the sine of 100 over its corresponding length of 11. So this is our sine rule in this particular question. So an angle and its corresponding side, another angle and its corresponding side, and we want to work out what the value of D is. So we need to do some small amounts of rearranging here. So we've got to work out D. So we say opposite divide by 9 is time by 9 over here. And opposite of sine is inverse sine. So let's rewrite it now. D is equal to sine to the minus 1 of the sine of A time by the 9 divided by the 11. And that will give us the value of D. So let's quickly work that out. So we have sine to the minus 1 of the sine of A. Here's the A value, which is 100. Sine of 100. Close the brackets. Time by 9 divided by 11. Close the brackets. And that will give us D. Let's see what that gives us. Let's pull up my calculator. If you can find it. So let's shift sine minus 1. We have a bracket. We have the fraction button. So we do sine brackets 100. Whoops, I wanted 100. 100. Close the brackets. Times that by 9. Replay bring it to the bottom and put it over 11. Replay that back up there and close the brackets, and that gives us an answer of 53.68. That's lovely. 53.6829. Leave that value there for the moment, because that's just part 1 done. So we've just done part 1, we worked out angle D. So that's angle D now, 53.69 degrees. Now we want to work out angle C. Okay, what did we say before? We can work out angle C. Oh, that's part 1. Okay, we'll do part 2 over here. This is our idea. We'll circle that. So part 2. I think we might write this in a different color. We want to be better. Part 2. So angle C, which is one here, is what we need, is equal to 180 degrees minus 100, which we have here, and minus D, which you just worked out. So we'll put the minus if you like. And then minus another, the D1, which is 53.6829. Okay, let's get the rubber. Let's make this more nice. I get rid of that minus. We don't need that minus over there no more. Back to the pen. So the angle C will give us an angle. So if we do 180 minus 100 minus D, that will give us an answer. Let's have a quick bash without the calculator. So do 180, take away 100, which is, actually 100 give me 110. Minus the answer of the previous question. Okay. Hang on. Okay, let's, right. Minus the answer, and let's see what that gives us. So we now get an answer of 26.31707. 26.31707. Okay. Now that we've done the second point here, we can now work out the third point, which is over here. So let's switch to another color again. Okay, so we say the area now of the parallelogram. We said it was the area of the triangle times by 2. The area of the triangle is this. When you double it, it cancels a half, and we left with this. Our little a is 11. Our little b is 9 in this particular part. And then the sign of angle C. What's angle C? 26.31707, blah, blah, blah. So the area of this parallelogram is equal to all of that. So let's do the calculator. Oh, that's not nice. But anyway, let's see if we can. So what do we say? We said 11 times by 9 times by sine. Okay, we have 20, and this we can use the previous answer. Shift answer, close bracket. So that gives us our final answer. The area will be 40. Okay, will give us 43.89. 43.89. 43.8904. Okay, now the question says give it correct to 3 significant figures. So 3 significant figures we. So that's 1. Okay, I wanted a red. So that gives you, okay, whoa, 1, 2, 3. So the 9 is 5 or more, add 1 to that. So my final answer for that is 43.9, and we're looking for an area, so that should be centimeters squared is the area of the parallelogram. Okay, all right, that's done. That's the end of the paper. Okay, folks, sorry for any technical problems and stuff on there. Apologies, and hopefully this will help you with the examination preparation. So break the question down into steps, look at the questions carefully, make sure you understand what you're doing, and I hope you manage to pass your examinations by using these papers that we've done with my class to help you understand and master this paper too. Okay, right, that's the end of that.